Today we're going to start talking about our factoring. All right, factoring polynomials again is a skill that is extremely important just for the concept of math in general. All right, if you guys remember that practice keystone thing I gave you that one day, remember that, or at least half of you did. There was at least 4 or 5 problems on there you probably couldn't solve because you didn't know how to factor. All right, factoring is going to be used right now. It's just kind of it's got kind of going to look a little bit pointless, honestly, at this point. But this is more of one of those skills that's a transferable skill. All right, we're going to use it later to solve polynomials, to solve equations. We'll use it to simplify radicals. We'll use it to factor out when you're doing integration, when you're doing differentiation, those types of things. So this is kind of one of those. It's like a stepping stone type skill. All right. Like I said, I'd put this into 4 categories. First category would be factor out the GCF. Second category is polynomials with leading term is 1, which is what we're going to do today. Then we'll do factor by grouping and factor with leading coefficient not 1. All right, so factoring trinomials, 8-5. We'll be working on just factoring from now, probably all next week then too. Okay, so we're not going to go super fast through this. All right, so factoring trinomials. First thing, factoring trinomials, we're going A equals 1. All right, this is just kind of the style of them. So factoring a trinomial is the process of undoing FOIL. Okay, I put in parentheses or in quotation marks because that's really not a proper math term. Okay, so you're undoing FOIL. So we're going to go from, in these warm-ups, we're going to go from this form back to this form. All right, now this is the standard form for a polynomial, ax squared plus bx plus c. That's a degree 2 trinomial, and that's the one we're going to see most often. All right, it's a quadratic function, and we use them a lot in math. And what we want to do is be able to take something from this form, ax squared plus bx plus c, and get into this form, where it's x plus something, 2 sets of parentheses. Give me a second to get that written down. Good? No, not gonna. Okay. So like I said, this is style 1 of factoring. Maybe style 2 if you want to count factoring on GCF. Okay. And in this form, you want to answer the question essentially, what 2 numbers can multiply to get C and add to get B? So I would make sure I write down this phrase here. What 2 numbers can I multiply to get C and add to get B? I'm going to show you the process. I'm going to show you how to do it step by step. Most of you guys will probably get pretty good at these and won't even have to write them down. So if you're not writing them down, you're not writing down the steps, if you can answer this question, then you're in good shape. Now, if you look up at the top, that ax squared plus bx plus c, all your operators in that base form are plus and plus, right? Well, if you look over here on the right, the ones that we came up with, we have one that's x squared plus 2x minus 15, 2x squared minus 10x minus 48, right? Are they always going to be plus? No. All right, we have 4 different possible combinations. So if this is your polynomial, I'll make a little chart. I'll make sure to write this down, and this would be something that would be good to memorize, honestly. So if you have a polynomial, and then your factors are going to be here. So if you have a plus and a plus in your polynomial, like we do up top, okay? We have a plus and a plus with my x squared plus bx plus c. Then your factors, whenever you factor in the parentheses, you're going to have a plus and a plus in the middle of those. Okay? If you have a minus, then a plus, your factors are going to be minus and minus. Okay, so anytime your C term is positive, that is going to make both your parentheses have the same sign. Okay, so these two are kind of grouped together. So let me say that again. If your C term is positive, both of your factored sets of parentheses will have the same sign in them. C term is plus. If it's plus plus, you have a plus plus. Minus plus, you have a minus minus. Where it gets a little bit different then is if your C term is negative. So we'll do these two first, these two styles, and then we'll do the second two. The second two would be if it's a minus for your C term. If you have either one of these, you're going to have one plus and one minus. So C is positive, both signs the same. C is negative, you get one of each sign. And if we think about it, we're answering this question here. What two numbers can multiply to get C and add to get B? So we're multiplying two numbers to get C, right? So C is either you're multiplying two positive numbers to get a positive, or you multiply two negatives, right? So that's why those would be the two pluses. If you have a negative sign, you're multiplying two numbers, and you get a negative answer. That means you have one of each. Multiply positive, multiply negative, you get a negative. All right, but that little thing right there at the bottom, those setups, it would be something good to have memorized whenever you're going with these. All right, and this guy, the plus minus, it takes care of both of these two. Okay, so let's look at a problem. So here's your steps to factor. Write out the factor pairs of your C term, then sum your factors, and place your winning factors in the factored form. I call winning factors the ones that fit, right? The ones that fit what you're working with. So I put an example up there. We're going to do this step by step together. We might do a couple of these. All right. So we want to write out the factors of your C term, sum your factors, and then place your winning factors in the factored form. So what is my C term in that polynomial I've written? Hold on. Let's hold off a second. It is 15. We'll hold off. I'll let you get the notes. Copy down first. So you can follow along. Place your winning factors in the factored form. All right, ready? So what I like to do is this. I take my C term. C equals 15. I'm going to write it down, and I'm going to make a little chart like this. So what all factors or factor pairs do I have to get 15? So what all things multiply together to get 15? 3 and 5. What else? 1 and 15. Okay, so 1 and 15, 3 and 5. All right, this is a positive 15, and if I look, both numbers are positive up here, right? B is positive, C is positive. So I know right away that I'm going to have an answer that looks like this. Correct? All right. And my A term is 1, so I'm always going to have just an X as the first term in both of my parentheses. So that's what I'm working with to start with. I just have to fill in the two numbers now. So I figured out my factors of C. Now I add them. What's 1 plus 15? 16. What's 3 plus 5? 8. What is my B term? 8. So which one do you think are the 1 and 1s? 3 and 5, right? I need the two numbers that multiplied to get C. Well, I wrote down all the numbers that multiplied to get C, and then I need them to add to be B. Because 3 plus 5 is 8, it matches my B term, so I plug them in. 3, 5. Not bad, is it? Yeah. Okay, it's not bad whenever it's a positive C term. All right, let's do another one. Go x squared minus minus 5x plus 6. Okay, so again, just before you even get started, just check and make sure this leading term is 1, which it is again. All right, what's my C term here? 6. All right, so I have C equals 6. What's my factors of 6? 2 and 3 and 1 and 6, right? 2, 3, 1, 6. Add them. What's 1 plus 6? 7. What's 2 plus 3? 5. So we get a winner there, don't we? Okay. Now, if you look up there, it's a minus plus. If it's a minus plus, what's my output going to be? Minus minus. It's x minus, x minus. I just found my two terms, 2 and 3. Now, then you could take these guys. If you ever want to check yourself, just FOIL it. All right, so let's use that one I just found. X minus 2, x minus 3. Here and here is x squared. Negative 3x, negative 2x, positive 6. Combine like terms, x squared minus 5x plus 6. Is that what I started with? Yeah, so that's a proper factoring. That makes sense. Okay? Again, they're very easy, I think, if you have a ending term of plus. All right? So, there's 4 of them. They're all pluses at the end. Give you a few minutes to try those. I'm going to have x squared plus 11x plus 24. So I have to break down my C term, which is 24. 24, we got 212, 124, 8 and 3, 4 and 6. Add them straight across. Our winner is going to be 8 and 11. Or 8 and 3, which is going to be 11, which is my B term. It is a plus plus, therefore my answer is a plus plus. That one looks good. So I have x plus 3 and x plus 8. Okay, second one, x squared minus 11x plus 24. We break down the 24. It's the same C term as the first one. We're looking at 11. Okay, all that changed here was the minus sign in front of the 11, right? We have a minus plus. Anytime we have a plus at the end, it's going to be the same. This is 8 and 3 again. This is just a minus. Okay? All right, if you have a plus term, a positive C term, both your signs have to be the same. All right, so again, that's going to be x minus 3, x minus 8. Number 3, we have x squared minus 6x plus 8. Factors of 8. We have 1 and 8, 2 and 4. What? All right, so 1, 8, 2, 4. In this case, it's a minus plus. C term is positive. Therefore, both our signs have to be the same. Since B is negative, they have to be both negative. All right, 1 and 8 is 9, 2 and 4 is 6. 6 is our B term, which is what we want. So we're looking at x minus 2, x minus 4. All right, minus 2, x minus 4 for number 3. Last one, x squared plus 11x plus 18. We break down the 18. It's a plus plus. So therefore, our factors are going to be what? Plus plus. All right, so 18, we got 1 and 18. We have 2 and 9. We also have 3 and 6, right? Okay, add them up. 2 and 9 is 11. All right, that gets us our B term. So we're going to have x plus 2, x plus 9 is correct. Now, as I said to you, some of you guys will get good at these. And you'll get to a point where you don't have to write down the factors. And I'm okay with that.
I already don't.
Okay? I'm all right with that if you can get the right answers. All right, if you can look at this and say, all right, what's two numbers that add to be 8? All right, multiply to be 8, add to be 6, 2 and 4. All right. Now, where it gets a little tricky at is when our C term is negative. All right, any questions with these so far? No? Okay, so let's go to this. So when my C term is less than 0 or my C term is negative, I guess it helps if I erase this, huh? All right, when I have a negative C term, now I have one of each. Why this is tougher is whenever I add, I'm going to have one positive, one negative. So I have to account for, say I have the factors of 2 and 4. I have to account for when the 2 is negative and when the 4 is negative. So every pair of factors are doubled now. Okay? I'll show you what I mean. Let's go with the first one. X squared plus 2x minus 15. So I'm going to use my C term. C is 15. What's my factors of 15? 3 and 5, 15 and 1. Okay? Now, I know automatically I'm going to have x minus and an x plus, correct? So one of these guys have to be negative. I have to account for that in my factors now. Because my C is actually, I didn't write it down, my C is actually negative 15. Make sure you write that with it. All right, so if I multiply 1 and 15, I can multiply negative 1 and 15 or 1 and negative 15. Does that make sense? So then same way here, negative 3 and 5 and also 3 and negative 5. So I have to count for both ways because of C being negative. All right, so C negative just kind of doubles my output of factors. All right, do the same thing now, add across. So what, 14, negative 14, positive 2, negative 2. What am I looking for my B term? I have a positive 2. Here's my winners. Now you have to be careful. The first one, you just plug the 2 in wherever, right? This one here, I have a plus and a minus. What's my plus term? 5. What's my minus term? 3. Okay? So as soon as you bring in that negative c, you double the amount of factors that you have. Okay? Because you have to account for one being negative and then the other being negative in each pair. With me? If I put x minus 3, then x plus 5, no, it doesn't matter. I just personally, I just get used to going plus minus. I did the next one. Okay? So let's do the next one together, and I'm going to let you do the last two. So I have negative 36 as my C term. What's my factors of 36? 1 and 36. 3 and 21? How about 3 and 12? 4 and 9? Okay. 6 and 6. That'd be another one, right? 2 and 18. Yep. All right. I'm going to have a bunch here. I don't think I need them all. Okay. Especially one like this, if I have a bunch. Okay. So I'm going to go through and put my negative signs with it. If I have a bunch, just stop when you get the winning one. All right. I'm looking for positive 9. So 35, negative 35, 9. There's my winner, right? Stop right there. That's negative 3 and 12. Plus 12, x minus 3. Does that make sense? Okay? There's 2 more up there. Take a few minutes and try those guys. we want to factor these guys. So they are both, C term is minus, so therefore our final outcome has to be one of each, right? Now, in this case, neither one of them really broke them down, which is all right, but just look at them. So we break down to 21. 21, we got what? 1 and 21, 3 and 7, that's about it. All right, and we need a factor where we get a -4. Well, if you take a -7 and a +3, add them together, you get -4. So that would be good. X plus 3, x minus 7. Last one, 35. We're looking at 1 and 35, 5 and 7. That's about all I see. Okay?
Wait a minute.
4 and 9 is 36. All right, so then we only have two sets of factors. And we figured out we're looking for -2, -7, and +5 would give us that. Any questions? Okay, last page. 4 problems to finish off. Last page to finish off. 4 problems. What? Doesn't matter. That's just how I like to write them. Okay, so first one, x squared plus 4x plus 3. Second one, x squared, let's go. Okay, it's my thought process to write them. And then last one.
You didn't give us a number for that.
Just -x. So what would the number be? Yeah, I decided not to write one in there.
The number would be 1.
Yeah, what do you do?
I'm good.
You're a funny guy. Alright. What was your suggestion of food?
Okay, there you go.
Can you see this number 2 look up?